Alright guys, I'm just doing a quick little fun Hot Wheels Unleashed video, nothing too serious here. The main thing I want to do here is I want to go through and explain cars that I want to see in the game. Like, there's a lot of cars that have the potential to be in this game, and there's some that for me I feel the game should have, just absolutely should, because I feel that they hold a special place, not only for myself but for just Hot Wheels in general, especially from a video game or just a fan standpoint, really. And I'm hoping to get this video out quickly, and hopefully, you know, if these cars aren't coming to the game, hopefully the team at Milestone sees this video and is like, hey, let's do this. This is cool. These are good ideas. And, you know, we've got 6 months, I think, till the game comes out, maybe more. What, September? 7 months. We have 7 months till the game comes out. That's plenty of time to add cars. Okay, Project Accelerators adds quite a number of cars in the space of 7 months. So we can... This is a full dev team. This isn't just like a handful of people. So this full dev team, I don't care if they're reskins. I don't care if every car has the same handling as Roger Dodger. Whatever, go for it. Make them all feel the same and drive the same. I don't care. I care how the car looks. I want to, if anything, that's better, because then you're not forced to drive the most broken, fastest car in the game, which will, for whatever reason, be Bone Shaker. Just why? It's just a generic hot rod. It is not cool. This thing's even got bent axles. Look at this. This is bent axles. This thing will not drive on a Hot Wheels track with bent axles. It's not. It's turning the corner. It's drifting. I get it, but it just looks like it's got bent axles. That looks quite sad to see, because you know Bone Shaker axles bend all the time anyway. That Bone Shaker is actually going straight. That's just how its axles look. The rest of these cars are drifting. That's fine, but Bone Shaker's just munted because some kid drove it into a wall 7 times. It doesn't take much. But yeah, I do want to go through just cars I would love to see. Look, if they all have their own individual stats, that's even better. But if they all have the same stats as Twin Mill, that's fine. I don't care. I just want to see the models in the game. I don't care if they're reskins. But first, let's go through here. This is the beefed up pack. This looks to be... So I found this on Italy's GameStop website, because for whatever reason, when you go to the Hot Wheels Unleashed website and you try to pre-order, if you try to pre-order the hard case version, like the metal case version, the only store it'll take you to is the Italy store. Like, you can only order it in Italy at the moment, and even then it doesn't let you. Don't ask how long I tried to mess around with the website already, trying to see what I could find. So it looks like the beefed up pack will be a pre-order bonus for the game. I don't think they're giving you the die-cast models for pre-ordering. You already get a Bone Shaker for pre-ordering, like a model. The steelbook version, so the cool version that comes with the awesome case and the poster and all that, comes with a Bone Shaker. Do you understand that I have so much hatred for how much they shove this car down my throat, and all they're doing is shoving this car down my throat. Look at this. One of the 2 bonus cars you get for pre-ordering is another Bone Shaker. We've already got Bone Shaker in the game. There are thousands, I think thousands of potential, at least hundreds, alright. There is a lot of potential Hot Wheels cars that could be in this game. Why do we need 2 different Bone Shakers? Okay. It's a generic ass hot rod. We don't need the Bar Jar version. Bar Jar Bug is a much better Bar Jar vehicle than Bar Jar Bone Shaker. Do you know why? Because Bar Jar Bug is a real thing. It's not some glorified hot rod that they put mud tires on. I'm not a fan of Bone Shaker in general, let alone Bar Jar Bone Shaker. And Bar Jar Bone Shaker is one of the reasons I'm not a fan of Bone Shaker. Just because it is just shoving this car down her throat. It's not special. There's better hot rods. Not really. Most of them are pretty generic. But why this one? What makes this one special? Because they put a skull on it? cool. Hot Wheels armored truck though, this is a cool car. I really want to see this in the game. This is great. The sides of this being so armored, being so just like wall, like, it has a lot of surfaces. So for those artists that want to really make use of the vinyl editor, this is a great vehicle. It's awesome. I love this vehicle, and I really look forward to ramming people off the road with it. Now onto what I want to see in the game. Obviously, I'm primarily an Acceleracers channel, so I want to see Acceleracers cars in the game. Is that a crime? I want to see all the Acceleracers cars, okay, all the Teku. With Chicane, it must say Uket on the right side door. That printing error is amazing. I love that printing error. It makes the car for me. Do you know how sad I was when I saw Project Accelerator fixed it? Oh, awful. Uket. Uket is the appeal of Chicane. That's a $200 car. But all these cars are great. I want to see all of them in there. I'm not even a fan of Power Rage. I don't really like Power Rage, but I still want to see it in the game. I know a lot of people are fans of it. Again, all the Maniacs, all the Silencers, even if they look the same, all the Silencers, all the drones, I want to see them all in the game. And the thing is, Acceleracers community may only be a few thousand people. It's really nothing amazing. But we are the loudest of the Hot Wheels community. Okay, look at any Hot Wheels post and just, you'll always find, like on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, you'll always find Acceleracers comments. The Acceleracers cars in the mobile game, Hot Wheels Infinite Loop, the Acceleracers cars in that game were extremely popular, especially the skins. They put a Teku skin on Diora 2 in that, which was never released as a model, and people went off. So this is another thing I want to see. I want to see the Teku Diora, the Teku Slingshot, just because these cars are so popular and we never got models for them, which is disappointing. And Diora 2 and Slingshot are both extremely popular Hot Wheels cars, so putting them in the game is already a no-brainer. Like, even if you don't put in all the Acceleracers and World Race stuff, you must have these two in this game. These are iconic Hot Wheels cars. Far more iconic than Bone Shaker. The Roadrunner. Now, this is the one... I love this car, and I love it in the movie, and I'd love to have a model of it that wasn't just the Scorchers one. But I get it. It's a copyright issue. Alright, this is a licensed car. It's a licensing issue. And they don't still have the license to print this. They need to get the license every time they make a model of this car. Obviously, the only reason they got away with putting it in Acceleracers at all was because they changed it just enough to make it not need a license. Or maybe they did just get the license for the one portion of the movie. But that's why they couldn't have it through the whole movie. That's why, despite the fact that it got out of the Storm Realm, it was never seen again, is because of the licensing issues. That's why it's not in the World Race game. So this is the one licensed car on here. I get it. If they can't put Roadrunner in because of licensing, sure, that's fine. Any car they can't put in because of licensing, that's not their fault. I'd love to see them try, but it's a video game. Getting the license for a video game isn't always the best idea unless it's like a DLC car. Realm cars, not just the sedan, but also the SUV. Realm cars from the Retro Realm are great, and I'm a huge Sweeper fan, so ignore this. Yes, I'm doing this in Google Slides. Get off me. I'm a big fan of Google Slides. I do everything in Google Slides. But the Sweeper is beautiful. It's a great vehicle. And if they can make the Sweeper work in this, I would love it. I'd drive it all the time. Big fan of the Sweeper. Now, also the World Race cars. Again, some of these are licensed. So the Chevy Nomad, the Stingray, licensed cars, I get it. The Chrysler Thunderbird also originally came in silver with purple windows, which is just a silencer car. Give us that too. And if they put Dior in the game, please don't mess with the surfboards. I want them to move. I want the surfboards to move around on the back of the car. Couldn't care less about switchback. But yeah, they're meant to be flimsy. Look at this. I got one. This stuff moves. I don't care if it moves only on the car. That's fine. But we're now getting Dioras released that just don't have the surfboards. And I thought this was the worst thing they could do, was release Diora without the surfboards and with this indent in the front instead of a smooth front end. This indent is awful. Stop putting this in the Dioras, please. Okay. But the only thing that they could do worse, which I wasn't aware they could make it worse than having Diora 2 without surfboards, is that they have the surfboards as part of the model. So they're melded and attached, and they're the same paint job as the chassis. Chassis is not the right word for that, as like the case, the outside. It's the same colour, alright? It is just part of the mould now. And that's awful. So first of all, Diora window is the most important part. Diora surfboard's second most important part. Like, that window looks so much better when it actually goes to the front of the vehicle. Yes. I think two of these are licensed cars. They're both Pontiacs, I'm pretty sure. If you can't get them, you can't get them. Otherwise, put them in. Twin mill, they've already announced twin mill in the game. Power pistons, power rocket. These are both vehicles. Yeah, power pistons and power rocket, I'm correct. These are both vehicles that belong in any Hot Wheels game. So even if they don't add all the world race cars, these two cars are iconic and need to be in there anyway, just like twin mill. Motocross, I guess we can go without. It's a terrible car. Wild Thing is a terrible vehicle. Don't even put it in. It wasn't in the World Race game, and that was one of the best decisions they ever made. Almost all these cars are licensed. I'm not a fan of Sweet 16 2. It is a slightly less generic hot rod, but hey, it's iconic. Put it in the game. If you think that Bone Shaker is iconic, then Jesus Christ, is this an iconic hot rod? And obviously Crazy 8's got to go in. I am impartial to Mega Duty. It was my favourite vehicle to drive in Velocity X, so I'd love to see that too. The Scorcher's Red Baron. This is one of the most iconic Hot Wheels cars. This is an awesome Hot Wheels car, and yes, I want to see it in the game. Muscle Tone is kind of cool too. Again, the Roadrunner. Shame if we can't get it. Now, this is going back a bit further. This is a bunch of cars from Hot Wheels Turbo Racing. I don't know if this was the first Hot Wheels video game, but this is the one I grew up with, so that's why I brought it up here. Okay, I want to see all of these vehicles in this game, and it's because I like them. They're just cool Hot Wheels cars, some of which are very iconic. Catapult is just cool. The first Diora, very iconic. Double Vision, I would say it's iconic, but some might argue that. Evil Weevil is a pretty old school redline car. Shadow Jet is pretty old school too. Like, I feel that these are at least semi-iconic. Now, this NASCAR up top here we're looking at, this is, I believe, the Kyle Petty NASCAR. Which, you know, this was like the first race driver I knew the name of, because he drove the Hot Wheels car, and I also had his Hot Wheels car as a Hot Wheels car. Like, this, to me, it's iconic, and it should be in the game. Not just because it was in Turbo Racing, but because it's just a part of Hot Wheels history, is this was the Hot Wheels NASCAR. There might have been one before it. This is the one I remember. Snake and Mongoose. These were just cool cars that were in Turbo Racing, so that's why I chose them. I just remember them being cool. I think these are like the same model. At least close to. Speed Blaster, another cool, iconic car. Split and Image? Is it Split and Image? Now, I said Double Vision a lot in the last video, which was the reveal video. I meant Split and Image every single time I said Double Vision. Every single time. This is a cool car. I like it. I thought I saw it in the game, and that actually made me more hyped to want it in the game. Go-Kart. I think I mentioned this in the last video as well. This is a cool car. Just a cool model. I'd love to see it in the game. Definitely on par with some of the other gag vehicles. Like, what do we have? The bumper car. what was it, Bumper Round? So yeah, if Bumper Round's allowed in the game, Go Kart and Catapult are allowed in the game. Red Baron I've already mentioned. Fright something? Oh, I forget what it's called. Fright Rider or something like that. It's like 11.25, and there is a lot of cars that I'm talking about here, and I feel like I'm doing it all in one breath. Unfortunately, I have forgotten the name of this car. I guess it's not as iconic as I would like to say it is, but it's just a cool car. So this is a cool hot rod. Speaking of cool hot rod, way too fast. This is a cool hot rod. Okay, this is so much more iconic than Bone Shaker. God, I hate that car. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't care if they just released Bone Shaker and then they put out one in a different colour every year or two. But it's the fact that they're releasing 3 a year because they got Bone Shaker, Barter, Bone Shaker, and a little mini, tiny Bone Shaker. I can't even show you because I won't dare buy them. So yeah, like for cars like Diora and Twin Mill, I don't care if they keep remaking them, except for Diora 3, we don't talk about that. But this, Way Too Fast, is a beautiful, beautiful hot rod. And that's what I expect from a Hot Wheels hot rod. Stealth is cool. Toe Jam is the name of this one. I still got it. I don't think it's iconic, I just think it's cool. It doesn't have to be in the game, but I like it. I'd appreciate it. Twin Mill 2, you've got Twin Mill. The first Twin Mill is a very iconic Hot Wheels car. I get that. But Twin Mill 2 is equally as iconic in my eyes. It has bigger engines. It's not as sleek looking. It looks so bulky and weird, but it's still cool. I forget what Twin Mill 3 looks like, but also Twin Mill Gen E. I have to grab this just a moment. I got a little Twin Mill family here. Twin Mill Gen E is beautiful. I love the design of this. It looks nice. So, yes, Twin Mill Gen E. Also put that in the game, please. Haven't put it on the list, but I like it. And Supervan. It's like the first car you unlock when you're playing turbo racing, and this is iconic. Supervan is very iconic in my eyes. I did mention before Hot Wheels Velocity X Maximum Justice. This was one of the coolest Hot Wheels games. It was like, it had story, it had like a lot of things going on. And these are some of the coolest cars from that. Jesus Christ, I am thirsty. I feel like I've just spat lyrics, but words, not lyrics. I've just dehydrated the crap out of myself. The Mst Suzuka from the start, the intro, like, is pretty much the cover card of Velocity X, and this car absolutely deserves to be in it. All these cars were cool cars from Velocity X, and all need to be in it, especially Hot Wheels Prototype 12. I really thought this car was going to carry the just going to be the big thing in the franchise. This should have been what Bone Shaker is. In your face. This should have been the next classic model that they really just milk, like they have with Bone Shaker and Twin Mill and Diora. But they didn't, and that's made me a bit sad. The only other time this actually came up in any Hot Wheels media was the random robots from World Race towards the end had this, but it was black with no spoiler and had wings, and you couldn't even tell it was Hot Wheels Prototype 12. You could barely tell if you looked at it really keenly. Otherwise, it's beautiful, and it's a shame that this car doesn't get more love. Every one of these cars is cool and should be in the game, especially Showstopper. Call it Showstopper. Don't call it Seared Tuner. That's a terrible name. Showstopper. Now, we're on the last page here. Yes, they're pages. These are just some other ones that I wanted to bring up. I did accidentally put the original Dior in here because I forgot that it was earlier up in the list. Rodzilla is one that I want to start with. This is just a cool car. This is another cool hot rod. This is just cool. I like it. Who wouldn't like it? It's It's a Rodzilla. It's a cool car. The 1970 Chevelle S, the 1998 first edition, blue with the white stripes. I said like 15,000 times that I wanted to see this in Project Accelerators, and they did it. They put it in there. Because this is my favourite car in the world. It was my favourite Hot Wheels casting. I still have my original one from when I was like 6? Yeah, 1998 I was 6. Okay, I still have my original one. With the banged up axles and the terrible paint all peeling off and everything. Okay, I love this car. And I want to see this in all Hot Wheels merchandise. So all Hot Wheels video games. I like to drive it. It's cool. The Trueno. The A6 Trueno. You just put it in. People love this car. And you've got drifting in your game. People love it. It's kind of an iconic car for drifting. The custom Camaro from 1968, I think it's like the first Hot Wheels car ever released. If not, it's one of the rare ones from the first year. This car is pretty damn iconic. Put it in, man. Put it in. We'll get to this one after. Hypertruck, it is just reverb, but instead of an engine, it has a ute tray. Where is the engine? It's meant to have a V12 right here, but it has nothing. Yeah, put it in the game, please. This is a cool car. I like it. I actually really like the Hypertruck, and I would love to see it in the game. It is actually just reverb, but and make it an alternate like skin or something, a toggle for reverb to be Hypertruck. I don't care. I would love to see this in the game. Fast and Furious has a lot of cars that have become Hot Wheels cars. That's a franchise they're definitely milking. However, 4 of my favourites, the Fastback, the Monte Carlo, Skyline, and Camaro. I hope I got all those right. Don't worry about the Porsche, but just this is one of the coolest 5-packs they ever released. Tokyo Drift was just an awesome movie, and it was good to see that these cars got some love, especially the Monte Carlo from the start, getting some love. Beautiful. I have these cars up on my shelf with everything else, and I would love to see them in the game. Obviously, as Fast and Furious cars and as real life cars, licensing is an issue, so if you can't, you can't, whatever. Now, this is a big one for me. This is something I don't want to discuss with a smile on my face, but I think this is a cool part of Hot Wheels history in my eyes. I am no expert on Hot Wheels. I know more than I should for a near 30-year-old, but this was released sometime in the late 90s, I think. I have a model of it at my parents' house, which, you know, it was nothing special when it came out. They did a series of 4, and each of them had these pictures on the sides that were cool. This one has the Twin Towers, because obviously it was printed before the Twin Towers fell, and it is of New York skyline with the Twin Towers, Statue of Liberty, and I'm going to say Empire State Building, but I could be wrong. I'm no expert on New York, and I think that there's 2 major reasons that I'd like to see the Highway Hauler. Is it Highway Hauler? Don't quote me on that. 2 reasons I would love to see this car in the game. First of all is I think that this is really, really nice. I remember not long after 9/11 that me and my father came across this and were like, this image now means a lot more, because this is not only a reminder of a terrible thing, but also a reminder of a time when things were cooler, things were better, and the world looked brighter. And I don't know, I feel this car means a lot. In that sort of aspect. I'm not even American. But that was the day the world changed, and I think that it's nice to have something honorary like that in the game, even if it is only small. But also, Highway Hauler is another big blank slate. You could really just put whatever artwork you want on the side of it, not just this. Like, this is cool artwork as well. but you could realistically put any artwork on the side, and that'd be great for all the artists out there that are really looking forward to putting some artwork in. Speaking of artwork, the accelerators, so the Teku, Maniacs, Silencers less such, the drones, and all the World Race cars all have very iconic decals. If we have a livery editor, in my personal opinion, it is essential that all of these are accessible. Okay, the Teku, the what is it, like a JD sort of in a circle, this symbol, that needs to be available. The word Teku, maybe the word Uked. But in like different printings, the clone, all the stuff that they have on the side, the Metal Maniacs M's, the flame stuff, the tribal synergy, words is hard, the little robotic decals that are on the silencers, and all the drone decals, and then obviously the Highway 35 is a big one that I feel like also needs to be in there. All the team liveries, I feel like all of them should be just already in the game. If they are not, and livery can be saved and transferred and shared, which it should be if it's a modern game, like if it's got anything going for it, then we can make and save these and transfer them amongst each other, and that's fine. If that's what we have to do, we will, as a community. But don't make someone spend hours making the road beast symbol look right, or anything like that. Just give it to us. Put it in the game. All you need to do is get the image. Look, I understand that coding and all that is not that easy, but if you're putting any pre-made liveries in the game, the World Race and Accelerators liveries must be amongst them. Even if all these cars I've mentioned don't make it in, those are something that must be there. The liveries from World Race and Accelerators. So then, even if we don't have access to all the cars, we can make our own. And as I said, Accelerators community isn't the majority. Not by a long shot. But we're a very loyal bunch. And we've waited a long time for some love, and Hot Wheels Infinite Loop gave us some, and it went off. We were all extremely happy with it. And you'd make a lot of people happy by just, it wouldn't conclude the whole, like it wouldn't resolve the whole pent up sadness of the series ending prematurely, but by God, it would make some people happy. And I feel like it's a very important thing to do, is to just put those decals in the game, as well as many others, of course, any other classic decals as well, especially the Hot Wheels stuff like this. Absolutely. But I feel like this stuff is just important in my eyes, so we can make our own Teku, silencers, scorches, all of it. That's just my opinion on it. And I feel like doing that would really solidify sales of this game for everyone in the Accelerators community. Look, if you've got those decals in there when I buy it on PC, my kids are going to love it, and I'm going to have to buy that for them on Xbox. That's an extra sale from one person. That means I'm paying twice as much. And I feel like I wouldn't be the only one that would then get it on PC for PC gaming, and then also get it on Xbox for family gaming. Having split screen is great, and also cross compatibility wouldn't hurt. If this is cross compatible and it has these decals, I will buy 2 copies, one for PC, one for my Xbox. I'll have my kids race me on the Xbox. It'd be so much fun. There's so much potential for this game, and I really want to see it do well. And it has a really good chance, just Stop shoving Bone Shaker in our face. Look, I'm happy for Bone Shaker to be in the game. I'm happy for Barjar Bone Shaker to be in the game. But if Barjar Bone Shaker can fit, I can tell you 71 other cars that'll fit. And a sweeper. Thanks for listening to me just rant for an hour or however long this has been. It feels like it's been an hour, but thanks for listening to me rant, guys. I really hope this has been recording because it wasn't last time. And if there's any more Hot Wheels Unleashed content, I intend to get onto it as soon as possible.